So I saw many weird types of shapes on your paper. And since this is for the first time, so it's okay to make mistake, but I hope by the time exam comes, you know the shape of all the 4 types of function I mentioned in this class. Okay, so cubic function is not a V. Definitely it's not a V. Which function has a V shape? Absolute value. So what's the shape of cubic function? It's the curly S upside down. So this is the original x cube. This is x-axis, this is y-axis. So when I said draw the original graph at the origin, I meant this one. Draw it at the origin and then transform this graph. So negative means reflection. It's fine. As long as he has something for the original one.
I didn't draw the original, so I get.
So you're going to lose points. I already said, remember, original graph is 1 point. Exactly, read direction. So 1 point for the original and 1 point for each transformation and 1 point for the correct shape. Okay, 5 points. So this is the original one. First step is reflect. When you reflect, the top portion goes on the bottom of the x-axis. The bottom portion goes on the top of the x-axis. So you're reflecting, and it becomes this. And I take that shape, and which direction you have to go? Left 3, and then down 2. So you take the origin, go 1 left, 2 left, 1 down, 2 down, you stop here, and you draw the new one. And when you walk, I want to see your steps. Sorry, 1, 2, here. 1, 2, 3 left, and then 1 down, 2 down. So in the exam, make sure show me your steps, how you went, and what's the original one. So either one of them, you can say original one, I don't mind. But I want to see something at the origin, and then that origin goes here. Yes, otherwise, how do I know which one is, or do you know which one is the original one? How do I know? So at least you have to label the original one. If you draw this one, write x cube. If you draw this one, it's negative x cube. In the exam. We are going to retake this in the exam. Remember that our first exam will be end of this month. Let me see which date. Probably around 25, 26, that time. I'll let you know 2 weeks before the exam. Around that time. Yeah, I'll let you know at least 2 weeks before the exam. We are still doing only 3rd section. So it's not time for the exam yet. Okay, any question? Not really. Your points depends on your graph. So if you have something correct, you get 1 point for that. For example, if you know you're going left and you showed the left direction, you get 1 point. Or if you know that you have to go down and you go, even though you go right, but you're going down, you get 1 point for going down. And if you draw the reflection one, you get 1 point for the reflection. So for each transformation, you get 1. And if you give me V, you're going to lose points for 1 point because it's not a V shape. It's that shape. Okay. Any other question?
We know what's going on.
Yes, I'm still grading all of them. So next week I'm going to give you all of them back and then put the grades on Brightspace. Any other question? Okay, then let's start today's class. On our last class, we discussed domain and range. Do you remember what is domain?
Yeah.
X. And what is range? Y. So to write down the domain, we look at the most left number to the rightmost number. And if your graph is not a continuous function like the left page, we have to write down the domain individually. And if we see that there is no gap in X numbers, X values, then we can connect all the X values. Or similarly, we can look at all the Y values individually for each piece. And if they have no jump, they have their continuous journey throughout the graph, then we combine. If they don't, we do not combine. For example, in this one, the first piece here, the left side going on forever and ever and ever. So we don't know the smallest number, so we write negative infinity. And then from negative infinity, your X values are going to the right until you reach 0. So the first piece is negative infinity to 0. And then you take a jump downward, and then you go to this piece. Since domain is the X value, so you look at from here to here, what are the X values you used? So we use from 0 to 1, and we include both of them because they have closed circle. So the second piece has domain 0 to 1, including them. And then from here, they jump down again, and we got our third piece. The third piece starts from the X value 1, so we start from 1, but it doesn't have any closed circle. It has a hole in the graph, so we have to have a parenthesis at 1. And then since the line is going down forever, that means we are using our X values forever. So we don't know what's the biggest X value, so we include that it's infinity. And now if you look at the journey of the X, you see that it starts from negative infinity and then reach at 0. But then it starts this journey again exactly from 0, reach at 1. And then here it starts from 1 and then go forever. So even though we have a hole and not hole, hole and not hole, but when you put them together, you see that there is no gap in our X values. We have every X values from the X-axis in this function. So we combine all the individual domain and get from negative to positive infinity, the result. For range, we look at the Y values. So let me erase all of these again. And if you look at Y, Y is the smallest Y to the largest Y. So this piece has smallest Y, it going on forever downward. So we have negative infinity until it reaches to negative 1. So first piece is negative infinity to negative 1, the Y's. And then it jumps. So we have a gap from 0 to 1, from negative 1 to 0. And then from here to here, all the Y values we get from 0 to 3. So this is our second piece. And we include 0 and 3 because they have closed circle at the end. And then it jumps again, so we have a gap. From 3 to 4, there is no number, no Y value. And then when it reaches Y value, it doesn't go up anymore. So we stop at 4. So we have a single set for the last domain. And now we cannot combine this range. So it is a range because we have no Y value from negative 1 to 0. Or we don't have any Y value from 3 to 4. Since we skip some Y values, we cannot combine them. So we leave them as they are. Any question? Now that's how we find domain and range from graphs. But what if they don't give you the graphs? They give you equations, or they give you functions. Then how do you know what's the domain and what's the range? Well, finding range is harder if you don't see the graph. So you're not going to learn finding range, but we're going to learn finding domain. Finding domain is easier. Depending on what type of function you have, you find domain differently. For example, we all have different types of problems in our life, right? And we solve based on what problem we have. So based on each function, what type of problem they have, we find the domain differently. So first we have polynomial. Polynomial means it doesn't have any negative power, no variable is on the denominator, it doesn't have any square root, it doesn't have any fraction power, it has only whole number power and positive power. For example, y equals x to the 7 plus 100. The 7 is a positive whole number in positive integers, so it's a polynomial. Or you can say y equals x to the 5 minus x to the 4 minus 1. This is a polynomial. Because if you observe all the powers, they are positive whole numbers. And we don't have any variable on the denominator. So if you don't have any negative power, if you don't have any fraction power, if you don't have any variable on the denominator, then it's a polynomial. Now, for polynomial, they are the most lucky ones. They have no problem. Their life is so smooth. So their domain is everything from negative to positive infinity. All real numbers. It means in this function, we can substitute all these x with any number for x. It doesn't have any problem. If you want, you can substitute x with 100, x with million, x with 0.1, x with 0. We can substitute x with anything, no problem. So that's how we can use all the numbers from negative to positive infinity for all the x's. Similarly, there is another lucky function, which is add root function. For example, y equals cube root of x. Cube root of x. Cube 3 is odd number, so this function doesn't have any problem. For this x, you can substitute any number, and you get a real y value back. So it has all the numbers in its domain. So these are the two most lucky functions. They have no problem with any number to replace their x with. And then we start having problematic function. The first one is even root. For example, y equals square root of x minus 1. The square root, it's called square root. And what does square mean? 2. Is 2 odd or even? Even. So anytime we have any type of even radical, even root, we have a problem. What problem we face for even root? For example, if we have y equals square root of x, no transformation, only the x. Can you replace x with 0? What is square root of 0? 0. So we get a real number. Square root of 0 exists, 0. What is square root of 1? 1. So we do have a number, real number. What is square root of 2? We don't know, but does it exist? It does. It's 1.4, blah, 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 blah. We don't know, but it does exist. What is square root of 100? 10. So it does exist. But if I tell you, what is square root of negative 1? There is a problem. Square root means find a number multiplied twice, it becomes the number inside. So that's why square root of 1 is 1, because 1 times 1 is 1. And square root of 100 is 10, because 10 times 10 is 100. So what numbers you have the same number multiplied twice, it becomes the number inside. So if I tell you what two numbers, the same number you multiply twice, it turns into negative 1. Will you be able to give me that number? Same number multiplied twice turn into negative. Not possible. So see, it has a problem. We cannot have any negative number for this x. So this number only starts from 0. It cannot take any negative numbers. So its domain is from 0 to everything else, all the positive numbers. But if I ask you the domain for this one, now, can you replace 0 here? X with 0. When x is 0, we get 0 minus 1, which is negative 1. Can you have square root of negative 1? So this function doesn't have 0 in its domain. This one we can use 0, but this one we cannot. So what is the smallest number we can plug in here to make it valid? 1. So domain for this function starts from the number 1 and then everything else. So our problem for any even root function is that the inside cannot be negative. So figure out what makes the inside positive or 0. And that's how we start with the inside. Whatever function you have inside, set it bigger than or equals to 0. Bigger than 0 means it has to be positive. Equals 0 means 0 is allowed here. Whatever you have inside, that can be 0. But it has to be positive. So we want square root of either 0 or square root of positive. So to figure out what makes the inside 0 or positive, we take the function inside, set it bigger than equals 0, solve for us. That gives us the domain. What x values we are allowed to plug in for the square root function. And then we have the last type, rational function. What does rational mean? What is a rational number? Give me a rational number. 1. True, but give me a good rational number. Fraction. Whole number is a fraction, true, because we have 1 below that. But when you hear the word rational, fraction is supposed to pop in your head. Fraction. Rational mainly means fraction. So, for example, 1 over x. It's a rational function because you have a denominator. Or we have y equals, let's say, 1 over x plus 1. Or you can say x over x plus 1. It doesn't matter. Numerator could be anything, denominator could be anything, but they cannot have any radical. As long as they have polynomial on the numerator and denominator, you are safe. Okay, so for this one, the original function. Can I replace x with negative 1? What is 1 divided by negative 1? Negative 1. So it doesn't exist. Can I replace x with negative 5? What is 1 divided by negative 5? Negative 1 over 5. So it's a real number. Can I replace x with positive 2? 1 over 2. Is it a real number? Yes. Can I replace x with 10,000? So we have 1 over 10,000, real number. Can I replace my x with 0? If you replace x with 0, I'm telling you, you have this pen, divide this into 0 pieces. Can you able to do that? No. So rational has a 0 problem on the denominator. So whatever function we have on the denominator, that function cannot be 0. In this case, our denominator cannot be 0. So it can take every number before 0, it can take every number after 0, but there is only one number we cannot replace our x with, that's 0. So to find out what we're allowed to substitute with, we take the denominator and say the denominator cannot be 0. So find out what makes the denominator 0. For example, here, what makes the denominator 0 here? Negative 1. That means we can take everything before negative 1, everything after negative 1. We just cannot use negative 1. So two types of function has two different types of problem, and we solve them differently. For even root, we take the inside functions that is bigger than or equal 0, solve for x. For rational, we look at the denominator. And we said denominator cannot be 0, solve for x, and we're not going to use those numbers. Okay, clear? Now let's do some examples. First one is f of x equals negative 3x plus 5. So step 1, identify which type of function is given to you. So which type of function is negative 3x plus 5? Is it a polynomial or not a polynomial? How do you know? Good. There is no variable in the denominator, and there is no negative or fraction power on x. So polynomial has mainly three conditions. No variable on the denominator, condition 1. Let me erase this. Condition 2, no negative or fraction power on variables. No negative power, no fraction power, no variable on the denominator. These three conditions. If you have these three conditions satisfied, then it's a polynomial. So it's a polynomial. So what's the domain for any polynomial? It means you can substitute x with any number. For example, if your x is negative 10, your y is negative 3 times negative 10 plus 5, which is 10 plus 5, 30 plus 5, which is 35, a real number. You can positive, because negative turns into positive. You can substitute x with 0. Your y is negative 3 times 0 plus 5, which is 0 plus 5, which is 5, real number. You can substitute your x with 20. You get y is negative 3 times 20 plus 5. So negative 60 plus 5, which is negative 55, real numbers. So you can substitute x with any number here, and you get all the valid y values. So domain means which x values you're allowed to substitute with. So what numbers you're allowed to substitute x with? No fun. And then we have second type. What type of function is this? Rational. So anytime you say denominator, what's wrong with the denominator? What you cannot have on the denominator? Cannot be 0. So start with the condition or the problem. For any rational, our condition of the problem is denominator can't be 0. That means whatever denominator we have, it cannot be 0. So we have x plus 8. This x plus 8 cannot be 0. It can be positive, it can be negative, but it cannot be 0. So what makes this term 0? Negative 8. You subtract 8 from both sides. So you see that, well, that means x cannot be negative 8. When x is negative 8, you get negative 8 plus 8, 0. Problem. So you can use any number before negative 8. You can substitute any number after negative 8. You just cannot use negative 8. This is called inequality notation, but we have to write it in interval notation. Interval notation means you look at the number line. What is the smallest number you have in a number line on the left? Negative infinity. And what's the largest number you have on the number line? Positive infinity. So you can use any number from negative infinity to positive infinity, but you cannot use which number? Negative 8. So use anything before here, use anything after here, just don't use negative 8. This is called graph notation. Now the interval notation is you write down each piece in interval notation. So how you're going to write this piece as an interval notation?
Parentheses, negative infinity, comma, negative 8, parentheses. Union.
So this is the first piece, and you have to use parentheses because we cannot use negative 8. Anytime we cannot use any numbers, we represent that using a parenthesis. That's why when you have a hole in the graph, for that hole we don't have any x or y, so we put a parenthesis. Go ahead, done? Union? To infinity. So this is what you have to write in the exam. This is called interval notation. So take your problem. What's problem? What's the problem for this function? Solve for x, write down the interval notation. Question. That means now we have our second problematic function. What type of radical is this? What's the name? Even root. So this square root. Square root means it has square root function. And square means it's even. Every even root has some problem. So we have to start with the condition. What's the condition for any even root? Function inside the root can be bigger than 0 or equal 0. Actually, let me write this down with words so you can understand. Root must be either bigger than 0 or equal 0. So for our case, what is our function? What do we have inside the radical? Really? I said function. What do you see inside the radical? See, this is what you see. 100 minus x squared. I said, which function you have? You give me the answer. So you see 100 minus x squared inside the radical. That function can be bigger than 0 or equal 0. So start with problem. What's the problem? What's the condition? And then from there, solve for x. So if you want to solve for x, what do?
Where the 100x squared? Or, yeah.
It doesn't solve your problem, it creates more problem.
No, it becomes 10 minus x is greater than or equal to 0.
No,
You can't do that?
radical doesn't work that way.
Minus, oh, that's.
You can minus 100, or since our x squared is a negative, just add it.
You take the negative 1 in front of the x squared.
You cannot divide, but you can do this. 100 is bigger than x squared. But it looks kind of different, right? Like we always have x squared on the left and x on the left and this number on the right. So if it feels weird to you, just reverse everything. So we have x squared, and then the other side of the mouth is toward the x squared, and then your mouth has 100. So let's rewrite in familiar way. We have x squared and we have 100. The mouth is toward the 100, so you put your mouth toward the 100. You do this so that it becomes familiar, like, oh, now I can easily calculate solve for x. It looks familiar. You don't have to do that, but I prefer doing that because I'm too used to seeing x on the left. Okay, now we have x squared is smaller than 100. So I'm asking you, what number squared is equals 100? 10. Only 10?
Anything 10 or greater.
What number when you square, it becomes 100? Definitely 10, right? But is 10 the only one? Negative 10 also is the other one. So you take the square root. So square root cancel out, you get x less than or equal. And then you have either it's positive 10 or it's negative 10. But actually there is a problem. We cannot use that anymore. It doesn't make sense. So when you solve, we have to use the equal sign. But we have to keep this in our head. I'm looking for something smaller than that. So to keep that. But you cannot use plus minus and have your inequality. Inequality doesn't work with plus minus sign. So definitely we have 10 and negative 10. But it says, I'm not looking for only equal sign. I'm looking for also smaller than. So we have a problem. How do we know which numbers follows this restriction? One page. So we go to the number line and get help from there. Negative to positive infinity, and we have two numbers, negative 10 and positive 10. We know definitely they can be 10. And you're looking for 10 or bigger than or smaller than negative and positive 10. Sounds so weird. So when you get two numbers for your variable, you actually have to check what makes sense. So it's a bit of work, but for some reason, department love this question, and they put this in the final exam most of the time. So this is the final exam question. In this problem, we go and look at each interval and see which interval satisfy this. X squared is less than or equal to 100. Which ones satisfy this condition? We want to see. So between negative infinity to negative 10, what numbers you have there? Pick one of them. Give me one number from that interval. Negative 5 is not there. Negative 15 is there. See, negative 10, negative 11, negative 12, negative 13. So x equals negative 15. Do you know what is 15 square? You don't, right? Do you know what is 20 square? Do you know what is 11 square? So let's take 11. Whatever you know, let's take that. So we want to see if negative 11 squared is bigger than, smaller than 100. What is negative 11 squared? 121. Is 121 smaller than 100? So we cannot take any number smaller than negative 10. That doesn't satisfy our condition. Our condition says the square has to be smaller than or equals 100. We know negative 10 makes 100, so we're going to take negative 10, definitely. Right. And now let's pick something between negative and positive 10. What number the best number you think? 0. You can take anything, but I love 0. Let's take 0 from all the numbers between negative and positive 10. So we have 0 square smaller than equal to 100. What is 0 square? So is 0 smaller than 100? Yes. So we can substitute all the number between negative and positive 10 in our function, and it will satisfy the condition. Now, lastly, the last one. If you take anything bigger than 10, what number you want to pick? 11, because you know 11 square, right? You can take 20, no problem. Do you know what is 20 square? So 20 square. It means you have 2 square 4 and 0 square is 00. 2 square is 4 and 0 square is 00. It's 400. So 400 is smaller than 100. Is this true? Is 400 smaller than 100? So this interval gives us wrong information. So only which interval gives us the correct result? The middle one, right? You can take all the numbers from negative to positive infinity, and it will satisfy the condition smaller than its square is smaller than 100. Let me list this. So our domain is the middle interval negative 10 to positive 10.
Right.
Can we take negative 10 and substitute here? What is negative 10 square? 100. And what you're looking for? 100 or smaller. So we can take negative 10. How about positive 10? Same. Anytime you can use the number for your x bracket. So this is our domain in interval notation. And we have this type of lots of work to do when you have a square inside the square root. Your life would be easy if you don't have a square. For example, let me show you another example. Let's see another function. Y equals 100 minus x. This function doesn't have a square. I mean, x doesn't have a square. It's only 100 minus x. So the function we have inside is this. So we start with the condition. What's the condition for this function? (100 minus x) has to be either bigger than or equals 0. That is our condition. The function inside has to be either bigger than 0 or equal 0. And now solve for x. We need to add x, right? So we have 100 bigger than and then x. But again, it looks not familiar. So if you have no problem with this, keep it. But if you have a problem with this, like me, reverse it. Like just change everything. So you write x and you have 100. The mouth is toward where? The 100 or the x? 100. So you place your mouth toward the 100. So now what is this telling you? X has to be what? X can be equals 100 or less than 100. So if you go to your number line, we have negative, positive, and somewhere we have 100. It says x can be equals 100 and less than 100. So which side is less than, the left or the right? The left. So this function doesn't have hard problem like this one. It's easy. You have to take everything starting from 100 or smaller than 100. For example, you can take 0. When you put 0 here, we have square root of 100, which is 10, real number. You can take 300. We cannot take 300. If you put 300 and you have negative 200, we have a problem. We have to take, you can take negative 300. So 100 minus negative 300 gives you positive 400. We have an answer. So you can take everything smaller than 100. So how are you going to write this in table notation? Volunteer, Amar, in table notation. It's infinity. 100, and then their boundary. Parentheses for infinity because we don't know what is infinity, but bracket for 100 because we can use 100 in this function. We can replace x with 100, but we cannot replace x with infinity. We don't know what is infinity. So this is the domain. Main thing, if you don't have a square inside the square root, your life is easy. But if you have a square inside the square root, you have to use the number line to test each integral out. Okay? So final exam, most likely you're going to see the square inside the square root. So you better know how to do that. Any question? Comments? So now it's fun time. You're going to do all of this. We'll give you 15 minutes. Maybe 20 minutes. We'll see. So 11:15. Yeah, I'll give you 20 minutes. Actually, 20 minutes is too long. I'll give you 15 minutes. So 11:10, we are going to do them together. You can talk with your neighbors. And if you don't like your neighbors, you can go and remember I showed you how to use AI. You can use Cloud AI, or you can use ChatGPT, or you can use Flexi AI. So these are the three most or three better AIs for math. ChatGPT is the worst one. Okay? So I would not recommend ChatGPT. But when you use AI, you have to use it as a tutor. Like ask question, can you help me solve this? Not give me the answer. So when it gives you the steps, if you don't understand anything, ask why the step is this? Why can't I do this in this step? Like have a conversation like real person. The main idea is understand how to do all of this. Okay? So talk and do math for 15 minutes.
Wait.
Why? What did he do?
He said you're telling me like I need six questions and I'm
Yes, I'm gonna give a few of these. I'm gonna give one of these. I'm gonna give at least one of these, and you're going to see both of them. In the exam, I mean. So for quiz, next week quiz, I'm going to give domain question. Yeah. Next week quiz, I'm going to give this type of question. I mean, no, this is too easy. I'm going to give square question, the one we did before. Oh, I want to take the attendance. From today, you don't have to sign in anymore. I'm going to call your names. Yep. That's how I learn your names. So today is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 9, 4. Krish. Manir went to the restroom. Jack. Eliza. Karen. Elana. Here. Maria. Daisy. Justin. Hachum. Elera. Elera, right? Elera. Hiba. Shahida. Loisbel. Marlene. Cairo. June. Valerie. Yeri. Amar. Ayman. Oh, Ayman or Ayman? Ayman. Sorry. Nihan. Ingrid. Sophia. Antonella. Ronald. Gurkirat. Ivani. Zohaib. Aruzan. Is it Aruzan or Aruzan? Arujan. John. And Terence.
No.
Out. What happened to him?
Yesterday, but not fun.
So, no, Zohaib, right? Zohaib. Zohaib. So probably in the restroom.
Yeah.
You get like 3 times like the option, right?
4.
4 times.
Wow.
Because then you already got half. 2 out of 4.
Yeah.
You only got
Positive 4. Yo, something funny. You work.
everything.
That's good. That's what you're enjoying.
Like
Good. I love to. I love it. But the easy ones, not the hard ones. If you have no idea what to do, please use let me show you again if you haven't used it before. My favorite one is actually both of them are favorite. Lexi AI. It's from CK organization. So if you want, you can sign in, but it doesn't require signing. And you can ask question like how to find, help me finding domain of square root of 100 minus x. Why is my thingy? Power. So this one doesn't have any power option. Square. And it will give you all the details. But don't just copy them. Try to understand what it's telling you. So if you don't understand any step, you can ask them, why is this? Why is that? And then if you want more challenging question, you put, yes, challenge me. So it will give you more questions for you to give, for you to do. Next.
We're having an argument over the answer. We all got a different answer. I get
Really? For which one?
there's no number.
Number two, find f of negative 2/3.
I think we're just doing the math. Yo, we're not.
Two?
I think we do the math.
Yes.
Super negative.
So either way,
It would just be positive 25 over.
where did you get the one? My shirt on, what?
Oh, I'm still. I'll be there. Am I seeing numbers? You got 4 eyes, you can't see more.
You shouldn't make fun of 4 eyes, okay? It's not good.
No, but better than fighting our week. Oh yeah, I'm gonna. I don't know how that one.
The answer is not 1/2.
You know, 9 is not.
You're close enough.
Is it plus minus 2?
We cannot have double numbers because you're not solving anything. You're close enough to check your work. You're very close.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go this again. Hold on. No, bro. Because they play right now. This is not even doing the work and he's laughing the most. Are you serious, bro? I'm doing it. I gotta go 1 hour. Well, I think yeah, because I feel like that's just I think 1 hour. You miss without making it out.
What?
I'm making it out. You passed. You need to study a little bit. Him, I don't know. You need to stop, bro.
Wait.
Yeah.
For number 2, B on the
You put what?
B
B 3 plus H. That one? Once you fill and take that result and subtract these from the result. So you have to find what that is.
You put that on the ring.
Mhm. And then you count, means you distribute,
Yeah.
and then get result. And from that result, you subtract
For the first
means,
graph,
and then see how much you get when you combine them.
what'd you get for the?
Yo, fuck that.
First, this negative is still here. This is not here. So the negative applies to the whole graph. Not
But it's still. No. Yeah, you know what happened?
No, okay, here's the problem.
It's two. We good. It's on the second year, right?
No, this is
You know?
this. Yeah, so this.
Yeah, I got it right. Eight minus 6. You all got two. Got two. You told her two. I told her two. She said closer. Wait, no, we're very close. Okay, let me see. What are you doing? No, get out of here. Let me do B.
Oh, there's B?
Yeah, there's B. There's not.
There's not two.
There's not two?
It's not two.
You didn't get two. Pull me up. What did you get two?
So I hit X squared plus 3.
You have a different variable. Okay, how you are B.
Oh, you subtracted three.
This substitute right.
So yeah. And then from there, you subtract three.
Right, yeah, I didn't even see.
Negative sign.
So the yeah, 9 plus 8 plus 8. But then I just push it up. What's two?
Yes, because it's not two. I did it again. I got two. You got two too.
Really?
You got two.
Oh, I did not get two, but I.
Two, let me see. So we have 9 and 4. 4 times 2 is 8, minus 4 is 4 minus 6 is 2.
Okay, you only that one, like fast. Yeah. You got two. Yeah, you got two. Like I didn't done it two. Which one you want? Yeah, eight is two. Yeah, yes. Oh, yes.
Why are you it's 7, bro.
You're wrong, bro. You start from something. It looks like. You mean look.
Okay, 15 minutes is over. Let's do them together. Let's start with the domain first. Go ahead, A. So you're not A, C.
Huh?
C. The domain.
Yeah, of course. See, now.
No. Domain, the right side.
Oh, your domain.
Let's do the domain first. Okay, good. Here, go ahead. Start with condition. 28. So let me write this down. Our problem or condition is that denominator cannot be 0. So we have 28 minus 7x squared. That cannot be 0.
Then you would divide Oh, you would add 7x squared to both sides.
Add 7x squared. So 28 cannot be 7x squared.
They divide 7 to both sides.
Divide by 7. So x squared cannot be 4. Square root. So x cannot be only 2. What number square is 4? Positive and negative 2. So there are 2 numbers you cannot replace your x with. So if you want to visualize the scenario, negative, positive, all of them are allowed, but it cannot replace negative or positive 2. So give me the interval notation.
Negative 20,
Mhm.
negative 2.
Negative 2, parentheses, because you cannot use negative 2.
Positive 2. And then parentheses, unit, 2, positive 2.
2 to infinity. So this is this first part. Negative 2 to positive 2 is this middle part. Lastly, this part is this part. Basically, it means use everything from the number line. Just don't use negative 2 and positive 2. It's 2 numbers. Okay, volunteer for the next domain. It's an easy domain. Even though you have a square root, but it's not a problem. Volunteer. Krish. Help me with this, please. Condition. Tell me what's the condition here. Less than means negative. 0. Perfect. And now you have to solve for x. So how are you going to solve for x? Subtract 1, subtract 1. So 2x has to be bigger than negative 1. Divide by 2. So x has to be bigger than or equals negative 1/2. So if you want to visualize the scenario, negative, positive, and we have negative 1/2 somewhere. So can you use negative 1/2? What does equal sign means? X equals 1/2 means you're allowed to use negative 1/2. And then bigger than negative 1/2 means what? The left or the right? The left side or the right side? Which side? Bigger. To the right. So all of these numbers. So give me the interval notation. Parentheses means you cannot use negative 1/2. Bracket negative 1/2. Positive infinity. So basically it means start with negative 1/2. You can replace x with negative 1/2 and everything bigger than negative 1/2. So interval notation, graph, inequality notation. Any question? Can you answer me honestly? Who did not get this? I said answer me honestly. So I don't see you guys are not honest enough to answer me that question yet, right? B? Here or the left page? Left B. Okay. So these two, both of them will be in your exam. And one of them will be in your final exam. Now the first page, Do the following equations describe a function? Yes, why? Y has odd power. So in the exam, you're going to tell me yes or no and why. Mhm. Yes, why? Huh? Y has odd power. Good. Y has even power. That's all you have to do. No math is needed. You only observe the power on the Y. No power means you're invisible one. The first two, they have Y with odd powers, but the third one, it has four. Four means even, so it cannot be a function. Any question? Okay, now the most dramatic one for those guys. 2a. We have f of x is 18x squared plus 3x minus 4. And they want us to replace all the x with negative 2/3. So every x you see, replace with negative 2/3. See that I rewrote the equation. Try to rewrite the equation this way. If you do that, you'll not make a mistake with your signs. So you go to PEMDAS. PEMDAS says do what? 18 times the multiplication or the power? Power. So we have 18, we leave it alone. And what is negative 2/3 square? Positive 4/9. Now this, it basically means you have 18 and 4 and you're dividing by 9. This is what it means. So what do you observe? 9 goes to 18 twice. So what is left at the end? 8. 2 times 4. 8. And then here, multiplication. Basically, it means you have 3 times 2/3. This is what it means. You don't have to write it down. I wrote it down so that you can see. You can easily cancel the 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom. So what do we have then? Negative 2. And lastly, we have the lonely minus 4. So you can do 8 minus 2 is 6. And then 6 minus 4 is 2. That size 2. Any question? So let's do the next one. B. F of x is x squared minus 2. They want us to find f of 3 plus h first. So what do you do now? Power. Outcome. So if you distribute the power, what do you get? No, you cannot distribute the power. You have to use FOIL. So this is 3 plus h, 3 plus h. You can distribute the power this way, means rewrite the same thing twice. Or if you know your special formula, you can simply use the special formula. If you use the special formula, it says take the first number, which is 3, square that, you get 9, plus twice their product. So 3 times h is 3h. So you get 2 times 3h, which is basically 6h. And then lastly, you take the last one, square that. So you get h, which is square. If you use FOIL, you're supposed to get the same result. Is it 2 or is it 3? 2. So we have 9 minus 2, 7. So it's not 6. I say it's 6. It's not 6, it's 7. So we found the first part, f of 3 plus 8. Now they're saying find f of 3, second part. So you do the same thing again. Every x you see, replace them with 3 and then simplify. So we get 9 minus 2, which is 7. And now the last step. Take f of 3 plus 8, subtract f of 3. So what did we find for f of 3 plus 8? And now you're going to subtract f of 3. What is f of 3? 7. And since 7 is only one number, so we don't have to use a parenthesis. What do you observe? 7, 7 cancel out. You get 8 squared plus 6h, or 6h plus h squared. Any question? So how hopeful you guys are about these questions in the exam? Will you be able to do them? These guys are very hopeful. How about this side? Okay. You're going to see them in your exam. And one of them will be in the final exam. Now about domain and range. Volunteer for the first one. Vertical line. Is a vertical, tell me the domain. You didn't see? Okay, let me write it down. This is 8. It's a vertical line that goes to the x value 8. So what's the domain? Domain means what? X. So what's the domain here? Curly bracket 8. There is only one x value this function has, that's 8. Who would like to do range? Range is the y value. What are the y values you see? Perfect. Negative infinity to positive infinity. See y here, 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 here. We have y going down forever. Y is going up forever. So negative to positive. Next one. Volunteer. Cairo. Tell me the domain for this function. It's a line going on forever and ever and ever. It's a line going on forever. So what's the domain? Negative infinity to positive infinity. Perfect. And how about the range? The line is going down forever and going up forever. Same thing, negative to positive infinity. So when something goes on forever, it means you have all the numbers in that function. Now the interesting one, it has a hole at 0. And then it going on forever on the left, forever on the right. Who'd like to do dummy? Negative infinity to positive infinity. But if I tell you, what is the y value when x is 0? What can you tell me here? When x is 0, what's the y value? You don't see a 0 here, you see a whole. So yes, it's negative and positive infinity, except 0. So you have to break this down. It's negative infinity to 0 because 0 doesn't exist here. And then from 0 to positive infinity. It means the domain is everything except 0. So let me write this down. I.e. everything except 0. Because 0 has a home. Would you like to do the range? Perfect. 0 to infinity. And what should I put for 0? Bracket or parenthesis? Do you have any number for 0? Yeah. Do you have any y value for 0? At 0, do you have any y value? No, because it's a whole. So when you don't have any y value, it's parenthesis. Parenthesis means you don't have anything there. You start with 0, but 0 doesn't have any number. 0 doesn't have any value there. This is what it means. You may say, well, then why can't we say it's 1 to infinity? We cannot say that because between 1 and 0, there are infinitely many numbers there, right? Negative 0.1, 0.1, 0.5, 0.99. All of these have valid y values. So you have to start from 0, and you just cannot use that 0. Any question? Right, so we are done. Oh man, one more question. No, we already did them. Never mind. Oh, so we're done with 8.2. So it's 3.6. So homework for next class. Homework. Do Tuesday, whatever date that is. What date is Tuesday? 9. Yeah, thank you. 9/9. Oh, a good date. 9/9/25. Section 8.1, 8.2, 3.6. Quiz 8.1 and 8.2. This is quiz 1. And then you have quiz 2, 3.6. So 3 homework, 2 quizzes, 5 things you have to do by Tuesday midnight. Okay? My MATLAB. Right. So when you go to My MATLAB, they actually have a tab for homework and a tab for quizzes. So you can go to the My MATLAB through Bytespace, or you can go to My MATLAB, and then the top portion is homework, the bottom portion is quiz. You cannot take the quiz if you don't get at least 80 to 85% in the homework.
Did you open 8.1 again? I tried to go back yesterday and do it, and like it was still close.
I forgot. I'll do that till Tuesday midnight. Any other question? So we are going to start new section. And we are going to learn something fun. Exponents. You have to learn so many rules about exponents. Okay, exponents. We are going to do only one section from chapter 5.1, and then we will go to chapter 10. Now, exponent, they have many names. We call them exponent, we call them power, we call them index. So exponent, powers, index, all of them means the power or the degree. And whatever we have on the bottom, we call them base. So here our 6 is base and 3 is exponent or the power. Power tells us how many times you have to multiply the base. So 6 cubed means multiply 6. The same 6 3 times. 6, 6, 6. What does it mean 4 to the power 1? Just 4. Multiply 4 only once, it's 4. How about 3 square means? Multiply the same 3 twice, you get 9. And now now comes calculus. Do you multiply or do you exponent first? So we leave the multiplication alone and the exponent. 2, 2, 2, 2. It's 16. 48. Questions so far? Easy, right? Let's see. How about you have negative on the base?
16, then negative 16, then positive 16.
The negative on the base,
Oh.
just because you see a negative, it doesn't mean the base is a negative. Okay? First, you have to identify what is your base. For example, here, our base is 4, power is 2. So it's 4 square means 4 times 4, 16. 4 times 4, 16. Now here, you see negative 4, but negative 4 is not our base. Negative is a multiplication, and then you have a base 4. 4 times 4. So negative times 4 squared. So negative times 4 times 4. So what do you get? Negative and then 16. But then look at this one. Here we don't have any parentheses. Here we do have a parenthesis.
So you put it in.
Because we have parentheses, that means the power is telling us multiply the entire thing you see inside the parentheses twice. So parentheses makes a huge difference. Parentheses means the power belongs to everything in the parentheses. So it's negative 4 times negative 4. You're multiplying the same inside twice. So what do you get? Positive 16. So if you don't see a parenthesis, it's a multiplication. If you do see a parenthesis, then the base is all of them. Any question? Think about this for 1 minute. Ready, guys? From the right side, who would like to try it from the right side? Nihan. Tell me D. 12. How about E?
B times -4. That's -4.
-12. Perfect. And the last one.
3 times 4 and 12.
3 times +4, and it's 12. Alena, question, or did you want to answer?
No, I want.
Answer? Okay. Then for you, let me create 2 more. Elena. Elana. I'm still learning, okay? Example. Let's say we have 5 times -4 squared, and we have 5 times -4 squared. So what's the first one?
Bring down the 5.
Mhm.
It's gonna be this 5. Roughly.
Mhm.
Is it -256?
I said 4 squared. What is 4 squared?
Oh, I thought it was 4 times 4. I mean, not 4.
4 times 4.
And that 2 looks like a 4.
Oh, sorry, this is 2.
Hold on. It's gonna be -16.
-16. And then what do you get?
-80.
Perfect. How about the next one? It says 5 times parentheses -4 squared.
+256.
This is actually square, my bad.
+16.
+16. So what is 5 times 16? +80. Perfect. So don't have a parentheses, the answer is negative. Do you have a parentheses? The answer is positive. If the power is even. Any question? Now we are going to do the same thing, but this time we have to replace the number. So they gave us 3x⁴, and they're telling us how much you get when x is 2. So you replace 3 something to the 4, and that something is 2. So what do we have? 3 times 16, which is 48. Of course, step by step. In the exam, if you just give me the answer, I'm going to give you 0. How do I know whether you did it or you copied from your neighbors? Show me your brain in the exam. Okay, 2 more for you guys. Try them. If you don't see anything, let me know. I will say it out loud. First try. Also do the other one mentally, no problem. Do you want to do the second one? Am I trying the first one? Second one? Okay. So I'll ask you this, not now. First let them do for 1 minute. You're going to do this one.
Oh,
Amma says he wants to do that one. So
this one? All right.
think about this one. Not now, not now. Think. I'm gonna tell me later. So hey, it's you, right? I took the attendance, but you are not here.
In like 4 minutes. I think the like time there could be.
You went to the restroom, I think, that time when I took the attendance.
I go.
Yeah, I marked it present because I know your name.
Yeah.
Ready?
It's -4.
Probably. I don't have the answer yet, so you have to check. Ready, ready? Amar, go ahead. The left one.
That's one.
Mhm.
Which one? B or C?
Left, left.
Oh, mom. 6 on the -4 squared.
So do I put parentheses, -4 squared or -4 squared this way? Anytime you substitute x with any number, please put parentheses because that makes a huge difference. If you don't put a parentheses, you get -16. But if you do put a parentheses, it becomes
On the 6.
+16. So you reduce by 2, you get 3/8. Go ahead, I'm still learning your name. What's your name again? Eliza. Eliza. Go ahead, help me with C. 5 something square something cube.
5 times
5 times 1 times -8. -40. Perfect. The answer is negative. What, did I make a mistake? No, right? So -2 cube means -2, -2, -2. Negative, negative, negative is negative. Guys, there is no phone. Please respect my rules. And then you have 2 times 2 times 2, 8.
Oh, you said if it's
If they negative.
Negative with odd power is negative. Negative with even power is positive. So here we have -1 square means -1 times -1 turns into +1. Any question about anything? One more. Just like the previous one. The one we did today. X squared -2. Find f of 4 plus h and then subtract f of 4. Do I have more? No. Do them together. Let me call someone. Any volunteer to start? Shahida.
4 plus H.
4 plus h. So what do we get? Sorry.
There's like
4 plus h times 4 plus h.
times 2. So you get like 16
Mm-hmm.
plus, what's that H? Like, we all go through this. Okay, AH plus H.
8h plus h square minus 2. You can combine these 2, right? 14 plus 8h plus h squared. And then what do you do? F of 4 or minus. So we replace x with 4, 16 minus 2, 14. So 4 plus h minus f of 4. What do I write? H plus h squared, or h squared plus h. Again, guys, most of the time, this type of question comes in the final exam. Okay, and in order to pass this class, you have to pass the final exam with at least 50%. So passing the final exam is hard. It's cumulative. It's everything combined. Any question?
How many questions were going to be the final exam?
30 questions, 24 multiple choice, 6 non-multiple. And then we have first part, 22 questions, non-calculator. Second part, 8 questions with calculator. But you're allowed to use only scientific calculators. For in-class exam, we'll follow the same format if we have something to do with the calculator. If you don't, then for the first exam, probably it will be only non-calculator questions. In the final exam, 8. So the final exam format is this. When you come in 8 a.m. in the morning, they'll give you the first part, and the time will be from 8 to 9:30. In 1.5 hours, you have to do 22 questions, and then you give all the first part, and then we give you back the second part. And the second part, you can take out your calculator and use it, and then give us back.
I was gonna say, do you bring it?
You bring the calculator. You cannot use the first part is non-calculator. So your desk cannot have anything besides your exam and pen or pencil.
You need a graph?
No, scientific. Only scientific. Any question? We're going to do the Lec exponents in our next class. Leave it here. So that's all for today, guys. Which one?
On the next page.
Right or the left? Left? Right? Have a good weekend.
Oh, Miss, I'm copying out
Be
some of the notes.
safe.
And your handwriting's a little bit different than yours. Like besides.
Whatever you don't understand, ask me. I'll tell you.
Okay, because I didn't get to finish copying everything down because I don't know that with me. But I will show you some pictures so I can tell you like what is this word? What is this word? But remember before, early in the past, back before,
It's true. I'll try to be more clear.
why is everyone like,
Maybe we
no,
can
it's
take
spending like
it.
at least 5 minutes trying to like figure out if it's like too much.
Have a nice day.
You too. You too. Be safe.
Oh, you checked Outlook? I don't know.
Yes, I
You
need to
think you need to accommodate? Okay. Because they told me that they don't do the cards anymore, and also too.
They do it everything online.
Yes, and two, when we're gonna have our exam, like the first exam from March.
It's end of this month, but I'll let you know at least 2 weeks before the exam.
Okay, because I assumed it was gonna be like a week from now, and I had because first, you have to be approved by, the office. 2, you have to send a letter before, and 3, you have to, give the teacher like a request letter signing it about like the dates of the
Shoot. Nice.
because I need that letter signed so I can take the test in that room. Because I mean, they're gonna give me extra time and also too it's required.
True.
That's why it was like, oh, when's the exam? Because I
Hmm.
have the letter.
I don't know the date yet. So first I have to see like how much we finish by next week, and then we are going to decide.
Okay. Hold up, I'm trying to find the ones I was struggling. Actually, this was one of the ones I was struggling with. Is that a 55?
Yeah. I'll be
I
more
wrote
clear
it
next
I
time.
wrote it E. Okay. What is this? Loss goes left.
So it's -3 times 10, -10. So it's -30 plus 5. Sorry, +30 plus 5.
That's a 10.
-3 times -10.
Your fives looks.
I know, like, man, I have to change my handwriting. So it's +30 plus 5, which is 35. So even if you don't understand some writing, if you understand something, you can do the math on your own.
Yeah, it's just like when I'm taking notes, I spend like good like a certain amount of time saying like that 5 and 3 and a 10.
I have to
and
be
7.
careful.
It's like fun. I know like probably everyone else understands this. It's just for me, I just can't for the life of me. And also, denominator can't right?
Be 0.
Okay. That's an 8.
You're subtracting 8 from both sides.
What up? I'm trying to find the middle one. I'm so sorry for the time.
It's okay.
I was absent last week, but I couldn't send you the email for the absence. I was like, if I just show you in person right now.
Yeah.
It just wasn't letting me know that.
Mm.
It was just for London
Okay.
last Thursday.
Mhm.
Thank you.
No problem.
Is this an fx? Is this like a
So this is
Extra?
x square, and then you're taking the square root. So this is x square.
Oh.
I'm so sorry for my handwriting.
okay? Wait,
Go
can you,
ahead.
can you like write it like okay? I have this. So do you want to like write it?
So we have x, which is square,
Okay.
and then you take the
X.
square root.
Oh.
No, this is the square root.
I thought that was an. I'm not. And again, this is a square root.
Square root of 100.
This is was
X equals
sorry.
x equals plus 10 and minus 10.
Okay. Oh, you can ask.
But this is not the
final.
final answer. This is
Oh.
the middle, and then based on that, you work on the right side. Sorry. On the right side, on the number line. See here, the number line. Based on that, you have to work on the number line and then figure out the final answer. The final answer is here.
Oh,
To me.
that's how you pronounce it.
Zohai, right?
It's okay.
Zohai.
Yeah. Alright, so I signed up for your Pearson, and when I go on it, it just says you gotta provide a course number, and I don't know where the course number is. I looked.
No, we don't have any course number, so you have to go from Brightspace.
From Brightspace.
You didn't go from Brightspace, right?
Yeah, just search the Pearson.
No, you cannot do that, because if you do that, course number, we don't have any course number. You have to go through the Brightspace. When you go through the Brightspace, they already know your course number and that you are a Baruch student and you are in this class. So they have all the information automatically. We don't have anything. They do it internally.
Alright.
So go from Brightspace, click on my MATLAB, and then it will take you to Pearson, and then sign up there.
Thank you.
Is this 100 or is this an infinite?
400.
That's two. That's
Two, and then
that's 2 and
Fast I wrote
fast
2.
and 0 and 2 zeros. That's a 400. 400?
Yeah. No, that's only 400, not 2, only 400. So first I wrote 2, and then I wrote, oh, I made a mistake. So I put a line, so it becomes 4.
Oh my goodness. I'm cooked. I gotta review all these notes later. No, because
Good thing I
yeah.
recorded everything. We're still running. Oh man, I forgot. So I recorded everything. So when you don't understand any writing, you can simply like
Did
listen
you put
to
this
that.
in your
Brightspace.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
on Brightspace.